Good evening. On behalf of Minnetonka Public Schools and the Minnetonka Alumni Association, it is my pleasure to welcome you to the 11th Annual Minnetonka Alumni Awards Ceremony and our first ever virtual Alumni Awards program. My name is Jeff Erickson. I am the principal of Minnetonka High School. While we would have preferred to hold this event in person with all of you, we've done our best to create a powerful digital experience to celebrate the amazing achievements of our alumni and teachers. The Alumni Awards celebrate the rich history of Minnetonka High School. This event is our opportunity to recognize the outstanding achievements and contributions that our graduates and faculty members have made and continue to make in their communities and beyond. Minnetonka High School is a pretty incredible place, and I feel blessed to come to work each day and see the amazing accomplishments of our students and staff firsthand. Although COVID-19 has certainly made an impact on our delivery of instruction so far this year, students and teachers and support staff are finding new and innovative ways to connect and collaborate. I've been so impressed with our students' resiliency, their creativity, and their passion for learning. Let's begin our event this evening with a welcome from Superintendent Dr. Dennis Peterson.
Greetings, alumni, and thanks for your great legacy at Minnetonka High School. Minnetonka has been a great high school over its years of existence, and we have continued to build on that legacy over my 20 years as superintendent. Several organizations rank Minnetonka High School and the school district as the best in Minnesota and one of the best in America. Indeed, Minnetonka High School is ranked number 1 in Minnesota by niche.com. The district is ranked number 1 in Minnesota and number 29 in America. MME and MMW are numbers 1 and 2 respectively in Minnesota. And the elementary schools range from numbers 1 to number 13. Our teachers are ranked number 1 in Minnesota and number 9 in America. That's an incredible accomplishment. Minnetonka is ranked number 17 in the nation for supporting athletes. Our students continue to set records on their performance on the ACT test. That's our best measure of how well the class has done for its 13 years in school. In 2002, the composite average was 23.1. For the past 3 years, it's been a nationally competitive 27.7. That reflects the performance of the entire class, not just high performers. The top 400 students in the class of 2002 were at 23.1. This year, the top 200 averaged 30.8. That amazing growth over the past 19 years is due to the teachers, our curriculum, the high expectations for success, and the great performance of our students, of course. Our students simply know more than in the past because over 70% of them are taking AP and IB courses from 9th grade through 12th grade. We now have about 3,450 students in the high school and about 11,050 in the district. About 35% of our students are open enrolled. They come to us from 50 different districts throughout the metro and beyond. We've continued to develop our academic program through innovations, and Minnetonka is known across the country as a highly innovative district. We've also been a national leader in using technology for learning. That has come in handy during these times of school closures and extensive use of e-learning. Our athletes are highly successful in the toughest conference in the upper Midwest. Teams from our conference probably win about 75% of the state championships, and we often play other conference teams in the championship game. Our drama program is tops in Minnesota and recognized across the country. Our music department is outstanding in choir, band, and orchestra. We have added rooms to the high school and other facilities over the years, and our latest project was a conversion of some locker rooms and showers on the second floor into a large instructional space. Those were areas of the school that simply were not being used. The growth of open enrollment over the past 13 years has brought in over $230 million to help us provide an even better education for our resident students. This year alone, it will be over $28 million. We now have our great language immersion program in Spanish and Chinese fully embedded throughout the district and through all 4 grades of the high school. Our graduates are getting wonderful opportunities in college and in work to use their second language. We've expanded our program in the trades, and it is called Momentum. Parents give our school high marks for quality and for the opportunities we are able to provide to their students. The advanced placement and international baccalaureate programs are challenging students and enabling them to leave high school with lots of college credits and more knowledge. Our innovative Minnetonka research program for advanced learners is enabling students to do original research that many colleges do not even provide. The Vantage program is acknowledged throughout the state as an outstanding opportunity for our students to continue real-world experiences with high-level courses. If Minnetonka were a nation, we would rank number 1 in the world in reading, number 2 in the world in science, and number 3 in the world in math, based upon the OECD test of randomly selected students. Our athletic facilities are second to none, based on the community support for upgrading all outdoor facilities and the hockey rinks. Financially, we have not cut our budget over the past 15 years, while every other district in Minnesota has done so at least once, and many of them are almost annually cutting their budget. This is due to the open enrollment revenue that we get, as well as support from our voters for referendums. As you know so well, this is a very special community, and we have all had the good fortune to be part of it. As you can tell, we continue to be very proud of our students in Minnetonka and proud of our high school. Skipper Blue is very much prominent in Minnesota. Thank you all, and good luck.
Hello, I'm Dan Highland, President of the Minnetonka Alumni Association. Welcome to the 11th Annual Alumni Awards. The Minnetonka Alumni Association partnered with the district to start this event in 2009 as a way to honor and recognize accomplished alumni and the faculty who inspired us. More than a decade later, we're thrilled to be able to host this special event and to share the stories of alumni and teachers who are making a difference in our world. This year, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, a lot of us had to do things differently. For us, it means holding this special event virtually to ensure that our community stays safe. I wish the honorees and their families could be here in person to receive the recognition they deserve for their amazing accomplishments. And I hope they and all of you will join us for next year's in-person event. One benefit of holding this event virtually is that we'll be joined by more alumni than ever before. Because of limited in-person seating, we're typically only been able to have 150 guests attend these events. This year, we invite everyone to be a part of the fun. If you are watching this video, please share it with your family and friends. Let's make sure that as many members of our Minnetonka community get to be a part of this special moment as possible. Before we get started, I want you all to think about 3 ways you can help support our amazing Minnetonka community of alumni, teachers, families, and students. First, I encourage you to submit a nomination for alumni or teacher who represents the best of the Minnetonka to be recognized at next year's Alumni Awards event. We have so many amazing individuals who deserve to be honored by the district and our association, but the only way we hear about them is if you take a few moments to tell us. You can find all the award criteria and a submission form on our website. Second, I want to extend a personal invitation to our alumni and retired teachers to get involved with the Minnetonka Alumni Association. While any involvement is great, we are in need of more alumni volunteers to join one of our committees or to help us shape the future of the Alumni Association by becoming a board member. Finally, I invite all of you to make a bigger impact than ever for the Minnetonka families, especially in times like this. Minnetonka students and teachers need extra support to meet the challenges of learning during a pandemic. Each year, the Minnetonka Alumni Association awards grants to Minnetonka teachers to support projects in 3 areas: fine arts, science and technology, and student well-being. We also have a general fund that can support events like this, the all-school, all-class reunion, and other essential functions of our association. Thank you to those who have those who will or have already made a gift. It truly makes an impact on the lives, the past, and future skippers.
Thank you, Dan. We begin tonight's awards with the Distinguished Alumni Award. The Distinguished Alumni Award is Minnetonka's highest alumni honor, recognizing distinguished professional achievement, leadership, and service to the greater good. Our first honoree is Jane Zachary Brattain from the class of 1965. After battling cancer herself, Jane went on to help others to do the same by establishing the Jane Brattain Breast Center. Each year, the center provides free breast cancer screenings for thousands of women in need.
My name is Donald Chancemart Jr., and I am the senior class president for the Minnetonka High School class of 1965. And it's my pleasure to introduce to you my classmate, Jane Brattain, who is one of the recipients this year for the Distinguished Alumni Award. Jane graduated from Minnetonka, completed her college schooling, and then began to work for Target Corporation, where she was for many, many years, then ultimately retiring as an executive from that company. But during that time, and particularly in 1991, Jane's life took a turn that she did not expect. She and her husband, Don, were interested in helping people that were suffering from breast cancer, and they decided that they would make a donation to Park Nicollet Clinics of a biopsy machine. Jane was actually one of the first people to try the machine after it was installed. And much to her surprise and anguish, it turned out that they discovered a lump that was cancerous. Jane didn't expect that. That wasn't the intent of donating the machine. But because the machine had been donated by she and her husband, and because of the early detection, the cancer was able to be eradicated. And Jane has lived a healthy life since that time. But because of that experience, Jane was inspired that she could do more. And so she and her husband worked together, and they developed the Jane Brattain Breast Cancer Center at Park Nicollet, a facility that has thrived, a facility that was designed to help women who are dealing with breast cancer, a facility that is set up to have early detection, and then to be a caring facility and offer treatments. But that wasn't enough. Jane decided that she could even do more. So she came up with the concept of something that she called a Mammo-A-Go-Go, a converted bus that was outfitted with a mammogram machine and well-trained staff that could drive and travel throughout the Twin Cities. The Mammo-A-Go-Go has been to all different parts of the Twin Cities, has been to 13 different Park Nicollet clinics, and has been made available to the general public, particularly those that can't get to a clinic. And it was important to Jane that this mammogram on wheels be made available to women at risk in communities where they couldn't leave or couldn't come downtown to be seen at a Park Nicollet facility. And so she made sure that the Mammo-A-Go-Go went into those communities as well. The American Cancer Society tells us that in 2020, over 276,000 people were diagnosed with breast cancer. And out of that number, over 42,000 women will die because of that breast cancer. The work that Jane has done has been invaluable in providing help, early detection, treatment, diagnosis for women who suffer from this awful disease. So, Jane, on behalf of our class, I want to thank you. And on behalf of Minnetonka High School, you are a worthy recipient of this year's Distinguished Alumni Award. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you Jane Brattain.
Hello, Skipper Peeps. That's what Sharon Haley calls us. Sharon Haley is the end all and be all of the class of 1965. She keeps us connected, she keeps us informed about what's going on with our classmates, and even when we're far apart, she keeps us close. So my first order of business is to say thank you to Sharon for all of her work throughout the years for the class of 65. I'm so honored to be nominated on behalf of the Jane Brattain Breast Center to receive the Distinguished Alumni Award. I know I join a very special group of people who have done such good work in this community and beyond. My husband Don and I had long been supporters of Park Nicollet. When we were approached in 1992 to fund a stereotactic biopsy machine, it checked all the boxes. It would be the first in the Midwest, not even Mayo had one. It was faster, less painful, and less expensive than surgical biopsies. We said yes. Fast forward now 6 months, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I was 44, my daughter was 4. My mother had died of cancer at the age of 57, so even though my cancer was diagnosed early, it was very scary. When I went in for my biopsy, Don inquired about the status of the machine that we had donated 6 months earlier and was told it has arrived, we're testing it on grapefruit, and your wife will be the first patient to be on the machine that you donated. Our commitment to Park Nicollet had always been strong, but this event drove us to the creation of a dedicated breast center. So working with my oncologist, radiologist, Don, and myself, we created an amazing place. It was Don's idea to name it after a survivor to symbolize hope, someone who had not died from the disease. I didn't like having my name on the center. It was a reminder of something that I just really wanted to forget about. But eventually I realized this was not about me, but rather about symbolizing hope. So along with hope, our mission became clear. We wanted to continue to offer the best state-of-the-art equipment available. We wanted staff that was totally dedicated just to breast health. And we wanted patients to have quick and easy access to appointments and results. No sleepless nights was always our goal. We wanted this to be a place where patients felt comfortable, where they felt pampered. Original art, fresh flowers, and warm, comfortable robes really help patients feel better. We wanted them to have a nurse available to them 24/7 to help them navigate the medical system, to help them with the multiple appointments they would have, to answer questions and help ease their fears. We're proud to offer this to every one of our cancer patients. I am proud also to say that the mission we set forth all those years ago is alive and well. We continue to deliver on all of our promises. And I'm so fortunate to be married to such a wonderful man. He's so generous, and I wish he were standing right here next to me. He pushes us. He pushes us to make sure that we continue on our goals, that we have the latest technology, and that patients should never have to wait for results. No sleepless nights will always be our goal. 29 years ago, when we first imagined a special place called the Jane Brattain Breast Center, we did not imagine that we would end up being a center where more than 1.5 million women would be cared for. And yet it is so. Community outreach is another important part of our work. We have 2 giant pink buses called Mammo A Go-Go. This is currently the only traveling mammography in the state. We provide mammograms and diagnostic services to underserved communities at no cost, so patients don't have to choose between buying shoes for their children or having a mammogram. In 2014, our first year for Mammo A Go-Go, we did 16 events and took care of 261 patients. Last year, we had 133 events and screened more than 2,000 patients and diagnosed 5 cancers and provided additional treatment for those patients. Most of these people were people of color, Hispanic, Black, and Native American, and 44 of the 133 events were bilingual. I am very proud to have my name associated with such a remarkable place, doing good work for our community and in our community. This has been truly a life-enriching experience. I should report that last October, I was diagnosed for a second time with breast cancer. And once again, early detection saved my life. I'm so grateful to the wonderful team who helped me navigate my way through chemo, surgery, and radiation. And once again, I'm cancer-free. Thank you so much for this honor.
Congratulations, Jane, and thanks for all your service to the greater good. Our next honoree is Richard Martin from the class of 1956. From park ranger to superintendent of parks all around the country, Richard has led an incredibly successful career with U.S. National Park Service. He is dedicated to preserving the country's natural beauty for the community to enjoy. Introducing Richard Martin is his grandson, Quentin Kinney.
Hello, my name is Quentin Kinney, and I'm a 2020 graduate of Minnetonka High School. I'm now prior alumni of MHS, and today I have the distinct honor of introducing my grandfather, Richard Martin, as a recipient of the 2020 Minnetonka High School Distinguished Alumni Award. My grandfather grew up in Excelsior, attending Minnetonka schools throughout his childhood, and was among the first graduating classes from the new high school. His childhood stories of living in Excelsior and attending Minnetonka High School have been part of our family for generations. He truly cherishes those memories and credits them as a foundation for all he has accomplished throughout his life. After graduating from the University of Minnesota, my grandfather started his career with the National Park Service at Olympic National Park. His career allowed him to live and work in some of our nation's most treasured places, including Mount Rainier, Sequoia Kings Canyon, Wrangell St. Elias, Yosemite, Death Valley, and Washington, D.C. Mountaineering was relatively new and unknown when he started rangering, requiring him and his peers to develop many of the foundational elements still used in search and rescue operations today. As the Valley District Ranger in charge of Yosemite Valley, he oversaw some of the most complex operations within the National Park Service. He was the first to use an incident command center for administrative purposes when Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip visited Yosemite. He was a park superintendent at Wrangell St. Elias, overseeing more than 13 million acres during his time there, and he developed a key partnership with Parks Canada. At Sequoia Kings Canyon, he oversaw the backcountry operation and returned as a park superintendent many years later, receiving George W. Bush in an official visit to the park. In Washington, D.C., he was the chief ranger for the National Park Service, providing guidance and support to our nation's national parks. As a superintendent of Death Valley, when it transitioned from a national monument into a national park, he corrected decades of injustice and negotiated for the Shoshone to gain their title to their homelands. My grandfather's passion for the environment and nature is boundless, a passion he has passed to my sister and I. I'm proud to introduce Richard H. Martin, your 2020 Minnetonka Distinguished Alumni Awardee.
Thank you so much, Minnetonka High Alumni Association, for this great honor and recognition. It is indeed humbling. And thank you, Quentin, for a very nice introduction. And at this time, I'd really like to express my admiration and congratulations to the graduating class of 2020. They're being challenged in unprecedented ways, but they've got behind them a great education and mentoring from Minnetonka High. I'm confident they will achieve great things in life. I was extremely fortunate to have Minnetonka High in my early life. Minnetonka High gave me the foundational learning, the motivation, and the ability to function productively and positively throughout life. Classes taught particularly by Mr. Nifke in science and especially biology had a particular influence on me. It was through his classes that I basically fell in love with biology and natural sciences. And it was like a spark. It was lit within me and I followed it. The support and mentoring of Minnetonka High were as critical as were the academics. All of our coaches, football, basketball, baseball, I played them all. They were demanding, but they always sent the message. They had confidence in us. You can improve. You can make a difference. I know you can. Work at it. Minnetonka High teachers and coaches looked directly to my ability to get a forestry degree from the University of Minnesota and have a 43-year career as a National Park Service Ranger. For me, it was a dream occupation. It was only, though, because of the Minnetonka community, the teachers, the coaches, the kids, and myself received that I was able to make that huge step. My career in the National Park Service was hugely rewarding and enjoyable, but often very, very challenging. We worked on wildfires, we fought them, but we also lit them for the health of the forests. We did high mountain rescues, often rescues that no one else did. And we protected endangered species all while doing that. Hugely enjoyable for me were the Junior Ranger programs, fun, challenging programs for kids. And I always hoped that the investment by those teachers and coaches at Minnetonka enabled me to impart some of that love of nature and the environment that I had onto future generations. One of my favorite teachers was Mr. Bristol. In fact, I saw him at our 43 Union. He looked good. He taught math, and he could make it fun. In algebra, he would challenge us to solve problems that we, or at least I, did not think possible. He was tough, but fair and caring. He sent the message, supportive, encouraging, always had a twinkle in his eye. I respected him and appreciated him for the great impact and influence he had on my life. So that was the deal at Minnetonka High. It was supportive, encouraging, but also the message. You can do better. And that's what we expect. Work at it. So this event is not just about me. It's basically as much or more about the stellar education and life learning a kid from a challenging background can receive from Minnetonka High. And the hugely talented teachers, staff, coaches, all of them. A huge thank you to Minnetonka High, and on this occasion particularly, to Minnetonka High Alumni Association for this honor and recognition. And thank you all very much.
Congratulations, Richard. Next is our Distinguished Service Award. This award recognizes significant volunteer service benefiting the greater good, philanthropic leadership, or service to the Minnetonka Alumni Association. The recipient of the 2020 Distinguished Service Award is Tonya Andruskiewicz from the class of 1992. Tonya is dedicated to creating an inclusive community. As president of the West Metro Miracle Athletics and I Can Hoop, and the founder of Flexibility Fitness, she offers athletic opportunities for kids and young adults with autism and special needs. Introducing Tonya is Julie and Lucas Hagan.
Greetings, this is Julie Hagan alongside Lucas Hagan here. And tonight, we'd like to introduce Tonya. There's no better person to receive the 2020 Minnetonka Distinguished Service Award than Tonya. Don't get me wrong, there are so many wonderful, deserving people in this school district providing such amazing, self-sacrificing work. But it's time for Tonya. In about 2006, we started West Metro Miracle League. A lot of things came together. Tonya happened to be working with the Minnesota Twins at the time, and I would say could call Harmon Killebrew a friend and probably even an advisor. But Harmon kind of roped her in with a pinky swear saying, Tonya, you need to get involved in this. And she followed through. I think she made Harmon really proud. And if you haven't heard about the West Metro Miracle League, it's a special baseball league for kids with special needs. We incorporate a buddy system in which we have many volunteers throughout the community that come and buddy up with our special athletes. And the field is absolutely beautiful. Tonya not only got involved, she went far and beyond. She organizes the teams, picture day, trophies, and then even took it a step further when we started a basketball league called Icon Hoops. She now manages and coaches that whole league, which is a clinic for special needs kids, also with buddies involved. The time and the effort it takes is lengthy, and she has a way with these kids with special needs. Tonya is not a biological mother, but I would say that Tonya has about 350 kids easily about every season. I am so proud to call her a friend. I'm so proud she's part of our community. And I'd like to say a big thank you to Tonya. And I think Lucas can represent his people as well. What do you say, Lucas?
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Tonya.
Thanks, Tonya.
Hello, I am so honored to receive the Distinguished Service Award from Minnetonka Alumni Association. It has been such a gift to be able to give back to the community that gave me so much growing up. It's hard to believe that 11 years ago, a pinky swear with Harmon Killebrew would lead me to this day. Harmon is a hero to many for his baseball skills, but he's a hero to me for his heart. He encouraged me to get involved with Miracle League Baseball at Bennett Family Park at a time when I was searching for some peace in my life. Instead of peace, it turned my world around. I had found my calling in providing opportunities for kids to play baseball and basketball just like their typical friends did. Inclusion became my passion. No one should ever feel left out in life. The parents, coaches, and volunteers that are involved in Miracle League have become some of my closest friends. And they support me in all my crazy ideas, like quitting my full-time job to start Flexibility Fitness, my adapted fitness and play business. I am forever grateful to every player, parent, and volunteer that has crossed my path with West Metro Miracle Athletics because they changed my life. And I ask each of you to pinky swear with me that you will get out and volunteer in your community. Together, we can make Minnetonka a healthy, inclusive community. Thank you again for letting me share West Metro Miracle Athletics with you.
Congratulations, Tonya. Next is our Young Alumni Achievement Award. This award honors alumni within 15 years of graduating from Minnetonka High School for distinguished post-secondary academic achievement, professional achievement, distinguished leadership, and/or distinguished service to the greater good. Congratulations to Jeff Edmondson from the class of 2005. Since his days as Weatherman Jeff at Minnetonka High School and one of my former students when I was a Spanish teacher, Jeff has gone on to work his way as a meteorologist on KARE 11, WAVY 10 in Virginia. Jeff also enjoys doing school visits to encourage students to follow their passion for science. Introducing Jeff is his father, Bob Edmondson.
Hi everyone, I'm Bob Edmondson, and I'm the father of Jeff Edmondson, former Weatherman Jeff from Minnetonka High School. His mom and I are so very proud that he's getting this alumni award. We are to the moon. It's great. So a little bit about Jeff. He went through the Minnetonka school systems, Minnewaska Elementary, Middle School West, and Minnetonka High School. Minnetonka High School is where he took off like a rocket ship. But back at Minnewaska in 5th grade, he said in his yearbook, I want to be a meteorologist when I grow up. Well, he did. Then it was off to Iowa State for his degree, then Duluth, then Virginia Beach out in Virginia area, and then back at KARE 11 for a number of years, about 4 years. And then now he's back out at Virginia again. So he sends all of his best wishes, wish he could be here. Well, because of the COVID thing, it's different, but he's going to miss this award in person, but we're so proud of him. He has done great work reaching out to all the schools throughout the country, wherever he's worked, and presenting his passion there, spreading the word. Giving to the community is a big part of Jeff's mantra. He loves spreading science, the weather. He's got a great character. I'm prejudiced. I love him, of course. I think a lot of us do. It's shown through the years, and we can't be more proud. So, Jeff, this one's for you, my son. And this one's for you, Minnetonka. I'm a former Minnetonka student myself. We all bleed blue together. So that's it for now. Skipper, ahoy.
I want to thank you very much for giving me the Young Alumni Award. I truly appreciate it. And I also appreciate what you've done at Minnetonka Public Schools. Minnetonka Public Schools, really awesome. Now, I'm a little bit biased because I was there from kindergarten all the way through my senior year of high school. It was an incredible time. And I do agree that you are doing a great job, and everyone's doing a great job with the mission of innovating, inspiring, and excelling. I really think you do a great job with that, because I believe that everyone is able to do that all the way through, at least my experiences, throughout elementary school, middle school, and high school. I started elementary school at Minnetonka, went to Minnetonka Middle School West, and then eventually to MHS. MHS gave me the great opportunity to do this, to broadcast, to work on a TV station. That's amazing. Minnetonka Middle School West, phenomenal teachers, and all the way back to elementary school. I can still remember all the teachers that I had, some of the field trips, all of the experiences, and especially the principal that I had, Lloyd Law, phenomenal. So thank you to everyone throughout Minnetonka Public Schools, from the teachers to everyone behind the scenes, to everyone working in the lunchroom. Good food. Anyway, thank you very much for the award, and let's continue to excel ahead.
Congratulations, Jeff, and thanks for all your hard work. It's now time to induct some new members into the Skippers Hall of Fame. The Skippers Hall of Fame recognizes outstanding achievement by a singular alumni or group in the areas of arts, academics, and athletics. Our first honoree is Gary Christensen from the class of 1971. Gary was a standout wrestler at Minnetonka and later at Mankato State, where he achieved All-American status and won the NCAA championship. He later returned to Minnetonka High School as a coach and led many wrestlers to state championships. Introducing Gary is Todd Johnson.
My name is Todd Johnson. I'm a class of 71, and I'm here to introduce Gary Christensen for his induction into the Minnetonka Hall of Fame. I feel like I'm well situated to do so. I first wrestled in 8th grade against Gary, where he showed me how overmatched I was. I finished my wrestling career then. Gary went on. And Gary dedicated himself to wrestling through 9th through 12th grade. As a sophomore, he lettered. He was the captain of his senior year, had a tremendous year his junior year, but his senior year was his most sterling in terms of high school athletics. Gary dedicated himself to wanting to get to the state meet and win the state title his senior year. He was captain of the team, led the team to regional and district championships by working out the summer before, running miles and miles, lifting weights to the point where he could almost double his weight, running up to 30 miles a week, boxing bag, jumping rope, and wrestling. And it all paid off. And as I said, his teams won the district and the regions in high school his senior year. He himself went on to the state meet, as did two other athletes who had worked out with him that summer. Gary achieved 3rd place, not getting his championship as he'd hoped, but he was defeated by a young man named Brad Reingens, who himself went on to be on the 1980 U.S. Wrestling Olympic team and to be a world champion in 1980 in his weight class. Gary had 20 different schools seeking him to provide him wrestling scholarships to come to their schools. 3 full ride offers, one from the University of Minnesota, one from Wisconsin, and another from Mankato. And he chose Mankato, where Gary had, again, a sterling record. Gary, by his junior year, went 22-5. He became the captain, he did that his sophomore year. He became the captain his junior year, and in his junior year achieved All-American status with an 18-5 record. 5th place in the NCAA AA Division II. Senior year, he won Division II AA, NCAA, and again achieved All-American status. He was invited to try out for the Olympics, but chose not to because he was getting married and entering into his dental career. After his leaving college, Gary, even in the midst of a dental career and having 2 children and marrying another 1971 graduate, Debbie Froberg, coached. And he coached at Minnetonka in 76 and in 81 and 82. And during that time, he had 13 athletes go to the state tournament. A number of athletes enter the NCAA, and one of them win the NCAA division. These are all athletes that Gary coached. Gary continued his athletic career as a coach for his daughter's premier soccer leagues, which won 2 state titles. He himself became a sponsored mountain bike athlete by Hoygards, and also competed in the Birkebinder as an elite and first wave class athlete. He also was a state champion in racquetball. Gary continues in athletics to this day, biking 100 miles or more a week. I'm very proud to know Gary, to have had a chance to work out with him on some of those summers he prepared for athletics, and I think he's a terrific candidate for the induction into the Minnetonka Hall of Fame.
Greetings. This is Gary Christensen from the class of 1971. I'm honored to be selected in the Minnetonka Hall of Fame. I'd like to give a special thanks to Todd Johnson for nominating me. Todd and I go back all the way to West Junior High. Todd is a University of Princeton graduate, a lawyer, and an author. And he and I used to work out together in college every summer, which was really a lot of fun. So we go way back. Special thanks to my lovely wife of 45 years, Dr. Deborah Froberg. She and I started dating in high school, and we were married after college in 1975. We have 2 daughters and 2 granddaughters. Both our daughters graduated from Wayzata High School. And that's kind of interesting because living in Plymouth for the last 40 years, we run into a lot of former Minnetonka graduates, and it's kind of like a cross-pollination, and I suspect there's Wayzata parents that now live in the Minnetonka School District, which has really kind of made it fun. We've lived in Plymouth for the last 40 years. I was not unlike a lot of my classmates at Minnetonka. I tended to be unfocused at times. You can ask Len Cravey about that in his math class. He had a gift of catching me daydreaming and would generally call on me at that point. But I guess I made it through that. So despite all this, the education was really first rate. When I went to college my freshman year, I really found I had a leg up because a lot of the classes that we took were really a review of what I had had in high school. Some of them went all the way back to junior high, actually. And so when my sophomore year of college came around, I was still wondering what I wanted to do. And I was at the dentist, and I was talking to my dentist, Dr. Randy Julian, who, by the way, lives in Excelsior. He was telling me about the profession, and I was thinking to myself, that's something that I think I would really be interested in. So at that point in my life, I really bared down in school. And the science and the math classes from Minnetonka were really a great help. They gave me a pretty deep understanding of what I needed to do. Finding something that you're truly interested in and fun and challenging is what I found in dentistry. I love dental school. I had a lot of great classmates. I had people from all over the country that I got to know and I'm still friends with today. I started my practice in 1980 in Excelsior, actually with Dr. Corey Krukenberg, and I retired 37 years later in 2017. Now, I suppose it's time to talk about my wrestling and coaching career. First of all, a big thank you to my brother Harry, a 1967 graduate, who really prepared me for college wrestling. He had spent a lot of time. He played football at Mankato, and he also worked out with the wrestling team. So he really brought a lot of knowledge to me. And I'd also like to thank Ray Christensen, he's not related to me, but he was the coach for many years up there, and he was really good at conditioning and driving me and helping me to find my goals. So I find it kind of hard to talk about my wrestling accomplishments. I've always kind of felt like it's bragging, but I guess I'll quickly go through them for you. 1975, I won the national championship, Division II. And the year before I was 5th, I was a 2-time All-American, I got an invitation to go to the Olympics in 1976, but I decided not to try out because I knew I was going to dental school, and I guess I was concerned about getting injured, especially with my hands, so I declined the invitation. And so that's kind of, I guess it. I guess I was conference champ, record holder in some areas, blah, blah, blah. I coached at Minnetonka in 1976 and then again in 1980 and 81. And I was offered the head coaching job after Ray Christensen retired. But at this point in my life, I had a young daughter, Jackie, who was 2 years old, and our family life was getting very busy. And also, it was really hard to leave my practice at 2:30 in the afternoon to go up and coach. And generally, you had tournaments on the weekend. So it was really a lot of time spent away from my family. So I just decided at that point I would have to go and bow out. And so that's my story. Thank you for your support, and go blue.
Our second inductee into the Skippers Hall of Fame is the 1970-71 girl gymnastics team. The 1970-1971 girl gymnastics team made history as the first female sports team at Minnetonka. The team was established before Title IX and is an inspiration to the female students and athletes. Introducing the class of 1970-71 girl gymnastics team is their former coach, Allie Kronk.
I'm Jody Sheely-Shack. I was a member of the Minnetonka Senior High School girls gymnastics team for all 3 years of my high school from 1970 to 1973. I have the most unbelievable memories of those 3 years. I will never forget those 3 years. And part of the magic of our team was our coach, Miss Allie Rademacher Kronk. The girls were wonderful. We knew each other from junior high school pretty much all the way through high school. I've still kept in contact with a few of them and consider them very good friends. But for the rest of my life, however long I might live, I will always keep the Minnetonka Senior High School girls gymnastics team close to my heart and in my heart. And I am so, so honored to be inducted into the Minnetonka High School Athletic Hall of Fame. Thank you, everyone who was involved and all the time that you put in.
Hello, my name is Peg Rody Schlitsky, a 1973 graduate of Minnetonka High School. I was a member of the 1970-71 girls gymnastic team. This was the first year led by Allie Rademacher. Allie had a vision, saw that there was an interest, and persevered with the help of Doc West, Betsy Farnes, and Mrs. Deppner. Yes, it took a village in obtaining gym time, equipment, uniforms, and judges. But Allie was relentless. I was proud to be a team member for all 3 of my high school years. Allie and I continue to have a friendship that I cherish.
Hi, I'm Kristen McDougall. Our team is very proud to be recognized this year. I want to thank the Minnetonka Alumni Association for this great honor. 1970 was a time of change. Women's rights were expanding in many areas, and we were very lucky to be able to ride that wave of change as it pertains to athletics. We didn't think about making history at the time. We were just a group of girls who wanted what the boys had. Most of us came from West Junior High, where our intramural coach, Bev Koski, whet our appetite for gymnastics. When West hosted the metropolitan area Minnesota Division girls gymnastics meet, we had our very first taste of competing against other schools, and it was fun. We loved it. We were hungry for more, and we started to fight for it. We got the ball rolling in 1970 by securing some seed money for the first year. But we're still a team without a coach. And about that time, Allie Rademacher, now Allie Kronk, was a coach without a team. She had just returned to Minnesota, and she was a dream come true, as she already had experience organizing an interscholastic team in Washington State. She got our team organized and continued to fight for us. I'll never forget the very first away match and what a thrill it was to go on the bus as a team. The first year was a process. We started out bare bones. We owe so much to Allie. She made things happen really fast, and we're so grateful for her hard work, encouragement, and inspiration. I'm also grateful to the forward-thinking school board at the time and to the late Walt West, our athletic director. And not to forget, Betsy Farnes. She was a physical education teacher who also gave us invaluable support. We wanted what the boys had, and lucky for us, we got what the boys had. We enjoyed serious competition with other schools in the conference. We became members of the M Club when we lettered. We trained for personal and physical strength. And we went to the athletic banquet, and we had fans in the stands. We made close friendships. For me, that camaraderie and the sweat we shared was the best part of all. Many of the male athletes enjoyed watching us practice from the doorway, often getting the doors slammed in their faces. But when it came to kind of sharing the athletic limelight, they were a little threatened at first. But they did overcome. And at the same time, female classmates wondered why gymnasts had a team, but their sports did not. Well, within just a couple of years, the story began to change. Our team started 2 seasons before Title IX passed, at which time public schools were legally required to provide girls and boys equitable sports opportunities. So now, decades later, the doors are wide open to our daughters and our granddaughters. And it's so great to watch girls enjoy equal treatment when it comes to high school athletics. I know many girls credit the team experience as contributing to their personal development. In my case, I realize that I applied much of what I learned to how I live my life, like being able to finish with a smile even after a failure, and to hang on no matter what. The team experience helped us all think bigger and aim a little higher. We're very proud to have been among those who first broke barriers for girls at Minnetonka High School. Again, thank you very much.
Congratulations to all the members of the 1970-71 girls gymnastics team. Our final honoree today is being inducted into the Minnetonka Faculty Hall of Fame, which recognizes former teachers and administrators who inspired in students a passion to excel with confidence and hope. Congratulations to Joan Larson. Joan went above and beyond in her role as a choir teacher at Minnetonka. She individually welcomed, encouraged, and inspired each young singer who stepped foot into her classroom. Introducing Joan is Susan Stiller Morrow.
Hello from North Carolina. My name is Susan Stiller Morrow. It is my honor to introduce the recipient of the 2020 Minnetonka Alumni Association Faculty Hall of Fame, Mrs. Joan Larson. Mrs. Larson was the choral director at Minnetonka High School from 1976 to 1994. Here are a few things her past students had to say. Charlie Thomas described her as dedicated, driven, inspirational, respectful, honest, and knowledgeable. She gave us pride in ourselves that has lasted me to this day. Mark Riddle, television commercial producer and musician, wrote, "She genuinely cared for all of us like family. She not only shaped us into good musicians, she shaped our character. She brought great integrity to her classroom." My brother Paul has taught at Berklee School of Music for 26 years. In his words, Mrs. Larson was a superwoman, running several choirs and directing amazing musicals. A testament to her legacy is the great number of students who would audition for the big musical every year, hoping for a chance to get one of the spots in the cast. She made all of us want to be our best, both for ourselves and because we wanted her to be proud of us. My sister Beth, a professional musician, added, "The overtime she donated couldn't possibly be counted. She stayed after school most evenings, preparing kids for state competitions or other musical endeavors, and many late nights working with the students on the musicals." Many of Mrs. Larson's past students are in professional music careers, and many have remained in choirs still, 40 years later. I believe this is due to the love for singing and the call for excellence she instilled in us. As a choral director at Harnett Central Middle School in North Carolina, I think back with complete awe at how Mrs. Larson could hold 80 students spellbound through an entire choir rehearsal. She expected us to be excellent, but even more so, she expected us to become excellent people. She was honest when we needed work, encouraging when we were down, and fierce when we needed to be inspired. She is, and will always be, the perfect teacher. Mrs. Larson is the example I aim to live up to every day in my classroom when I work with my own choral students. Her lessons are being passed on in my classroom and in many classrooms and countless lives across our world. At the end of every concert, we would sing the Peter Lutgen, "The Lord Bless You and Keep You." Whenever I sing it or hear it, I know that around the world, there are countless Minnetonka High School alumni that lift their voices and think of you. Congratulations, Mrs. Larson. You are greatly loved.
I was completely overwhelmed when I received the notice I'd been nominated to the Minnetonka Faculty Hall of Fame. Who would remember me after 26 years of retirement? I felt honored to think that perhaps my work with the choirs had given meaning to the lives of students. I have been blessed recently to be in touch with a number of students through social media, and it is interesting to note how many still find music and singing a part of their lives. I was fortunate to know most of my students for the 3 years of their high school experience, which did give me the opportunity to really get to know them. I was blessed to work in a school district where the high school principals, Larry Smith, and later on, Amy Mook, attended the concerts, as well as Superintendent Don Dreher. And their encouraging words were so appreciated. Further encouragement came from our district music department, chaired by Barb Nelson, and band directors Dan Geldert and Ken Coleman. And I cannot forget the supportive high school faculty, as well as secretaries and custodians who supplied services. And of course, the wonderful choir students who shared my love for choral singing and brought fresh meaning to every selection we performed. Neither I nor any choir member will forget the end of each concert as we sang, "The Lord Bless You and Keep You," a Minnetonka tradition from the first days of Minnetonka High School with Ray Minkler. Thank you, students, for the great honor you gave me in this nomination. You will always have a place in my heart. I am Joan Larson, the choral director from 1976 to 1994.
Thank you and congratulations again, Joan. That concludes our 2020 Alumni Awards event. Congratulations to all of the amazing award recipients. Each of you is an incredible example of perseverance, dedication, and excellence. Thank you for all you do in the lives to inspire others and to set the bar high for those students and faculty who follow you. Thank you to our entire viewing audience for joining us to celebrate with our outstanding honorees tonight. Minnetonka Schools is an incredible community. Thank you for being part of it. Have a great evening.